Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Avionics here with another tech review. So here's a little retro handheld that's recently hit the market within the last year that I really wanted to show you guys, and just how special this thing really is. This is called the TRIMUI Smart Pro. This is a handheld game console made to play retro games like Nintendo, Atari, Game Boy, Sega Genesis, and much more. And this was from mechdiy.com, and I do just want to give a little disclaimer that they did reach out to me to give this to me for free and offer them back an honest review about this product. So they didn't pay me, I didn't accept any money, I didn't pay for this either. They just gave it to me to produce a review video, and I am going to give you all my honest opinions about this. Alright, so this is the box that it comes packaged in, and it says here, purpose built to spark your imagination. It's got two thumb joysticks. It says it has a fast boot up. It has a 4.96 inch IPS LCD display, WLAN Versus, so you can actually pair it up with another TRIMUI Smart Pro to get some like either co-op or Versus going on. It has stereo speakers and USB Type-C ports on here. So as you can see, this thing comes in three different options as the appearance. So you have this white one. It's all white with gray buttons, and then you have this black one with everything all blacked out with black buttons. And then this one, which is the one that I decided to choose, is the one that looks like a classic Nintendo console. Flipping it around on the back side, this is a TG5040 model, and then the TG5000 series. Once again, some of the features. Says that it's a handheld game console. So let's go ahead and open it up. It says here included is the actual handheld console, a USB cable, and a user manual. So looking at the mechdiy.com website where you can purchase your TRIMUI Smart Pro, you are presented with three options. You can get the black one like I mentioned, the white one, or the gray one that looks like a Nintendo, original Nintendo console with those theme colors. And you'll see that with the 128 gigabyte SD card preloaded with all the consoles and the backups and the ROMs and whatnot, it's $100. Now that's one big thing that I noticed about this product is it actually comes with the SD card, or for $120 get the 256 gigabyte SD card preloaded with all the consoles and ROMs, or you can just buy the SD card 128 gigabyte or 256 gigabyte, and the TRIMUI Smart Pro is running the surwish crossmix OS, which is an outstanding operating system for a handheld such as this running retro games. And then if you scroll down towards the bottom of the website, you can see that they do also sell some accessories. So now let's go ahead and unbox our new handheld console. Although I did already open this and have played around with it for 2 weeks, but I'm going to show you what all was included. So at first you are presented with this card that shows off the branding. Again, just naming off the retro handheld console. Flip it around the back and you'll see that it is actually a nice quick overview of all the different buttons all around to kind of guide you through, and even show some instructions on how to do the firmware update. Alright, and then it's going to come with the instruction manual here, a little fold out brochure display. Now I highly recommend you read through this very well, because it is going to tell you a lot of information, a lot of very convenient information, including how to load more ROMs or backups onto the SD card, because like I said, it's preloaded with a bunch of stuff, but like I did notice some of the emulators did not include a lot, a really large library. I guess if you want, this is just like the other foreign language, if you want to add more, you can, which is just an awesome feature, and how easy it was. So there's that, and then we have our USB-C charging cable, which on one end is USB-A, on the other end it's USB-C, and it's this long. And reading the instructions, they do say that recommended, do not plug this into a fast charging power brick, like one of those 3 amps, whatever. You want to use a regular 5 volt, 1.5 amp standard charging brick, as the battery in this Smart Pro is not capable. It might damage the battery if you're going to try and fast charge this thing. So I highly recommend not using a fast charging brick. And here's the actual console itself. Once again, very thematic of the NES, classic NES. All right, and then taking a look at the bottom edge, here we have our function switch. Let me zoom in here for you guys. All right, so we have our function switch, and then I'm not sure what this is right here. It looks like a little panel, but might, I don't know, might come up. Here's our DC USB-C Type-C port. So this is where you want to plug in that USB-C charging cable to charge. So there is a little microphone right there next to the USB-C DC charging port. Once again, this is the SD card slot. And then if you're trying to plug in a headphone or headset, here's a 3.5mm headphone jack right there, or port right there. All right. Taking a look at the top edge, we have our L1 and L2 trigger buttons. And then right here's our power button right there. And then right here in the middle, you have your USB-C Type-C port for a host. So this is capable of plugging in an external gamepad controller rather than just using these, if you'd like, you know. But yeah, you have that option, so that's really cool. And then there is your volume rocker switch, down and then up, and then your R1 and then your R2 trigger. You'll see here is the directional, the D-pad. Okay, here is your left thumbstick. There is your menu button. Here's your left speaker. Here's a little LED to show off basically your charging, how much you're charging. It'll turn green once it's fully charged. Red means it's low on battery. And then we have our right speaker right there. We have our select button, start button, our right thumbstick, and then our Y, X, B, A buttons. Alright, so let's go ahead and power on our TRIMUI Smart Pro. So this says this thing will fast boot up, so we're going to press and hold for a few seconds. And let's start the countdown. Go ahead and count it down in your head. TRIMUI branding logo. The RGB around the thumbsticks are booting up and lighting up. Got our loading screen. We already hear volume, and there we go. Let's turn it up so you guys can hear that. We're going to turn it up all the way. So this is at 32% right now, but when I first got it, I went ahead and charged it up to 100%. I've had this thing for 2 weeks now, and I've been playing about a half hour a day every day because I bring this with me when I'm going to pick up my kid from school as I wait in the parking lot. I'm just playing away with this thing. So yeah, now I'm down to 32%. So as you can see, the standby and playing time over the 2 weeks is now I'm down to 32%. And now you can see that we are on the emulators page, and because if you use the right and left triggers, you can scroll along the top edge. So let's go over the emulators. So we have Atari 2600, 50 games, 5200 with 32 games, the 7800 with 41 games, 8-bit, 180 games, and you can see that we have some Amiga, some arcade. It says 2003 and newer, 375 games. I even have a Commodore 64. But if you scroll over, you can see that we even have CPS 1, 2, 3 arcade. Good old ColecoVision. We've got the Game Boy DS. We even have Microsoft DOS games, Sega Dreamcast, and there's 16 games here. But like I said, you can easily load up some more games on that SD card. Scroll over, we got Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, Game Gear, Genesis 32X, classic Sega Genesis, the Intellivision, and you know, looking at the Genesis, it says it has 788 games, low-res NX. Some of these I have never even heard of, but yeah, I mean all the classic like Master System, the Nintendo 64 even. Nintendo, NGP, Neo Geo, PC Engine, PSP, PSX with 81 games, and we all know that Sony PlayStation has way more games than that, and you know, you can load up some more if you want. Yeah, but there's even the Sega Saturn, Sega CD, here's your Super Nintendo, got Supervision, Virtual Boy, Vectrex. That is something that we had in my household back in the old Nintendo days. Like, we didn't get Nintendo, we had Vectrex, which is, if you know Vectrex, if you know, you know, and it's really fun, even though it was vector graphics. But yeah, so that's pretty much all of the emulators. Now if you scroll over you're gonna go to the apps now using this. That function key setting that we have at the bottom, you can set the function for that. So if we select that, you can actually choose it to turn off the LEDs, quiet, put it in quiet mode, silent mode, CPU power save, CPU performance mode, turbo button A. Yeah, so like here for instance, I'm going to go ahead and set it for LED off. Okay, I'm gonna back out, let it save. Now if I go ahead and switch that, now the LEDs around the thumbsticks are off. Alright, so you have Moonlight, which is a feature where you can stream PC games. I tried to set that up with my computer. I could not get that to connect. I was trying to get Steam to connect with the Moonlight. I couldn't figure it out. And then you do have a media player, so you can actually load some movies on here if you'd like, or some music, and play like music or videos. I keep wanting to touch the screen like it's a Nintendo Switch, but it's not a Nintendo Switch, and it's not a touch screen. So this is where you would connect it to your computer. You would want to select this USB storage, connect it, and then let it do its thing. That's going to be a whole nother video in itself, and there's also other YouTube videos on how to explain that. I'm going to go ahead and back out of that. Then going back to the apps menu, you have your terminal for more advanced users, your over-the-air update to update the surwish crossmix operating system, boot logo, RetroArch, MU cleaner, reboot. So if you're more advanced with like the the more technical stuff, this is more for you. File manager, where you can actually like copy or move files over and whatnot. But yeah, we're gonna back out of that. And you can actually screen record your gameplay, and when you do your screen record, it's going to save it into a folder. I forgot where it was at. Here's a user guide to have with you all the time. You got port master, random, and system tools. Let's go into system tools. I'll show you guys real quick that you can change the theme of the backgrounds and wallpapers here. So under this menu, you have emulators. And once again, this is for more advanced users. The LEDs, you can select different options on how you want the LEDs will be their behavior. So right now it's in the default manner where it's kind of just like the rainbow, but you can change it to like ambient. Change it so it shows your battery level, so it'll be green if it's like at a certain high percentage. As the battery goes lower, it's going to turn yellow and then eventually red. So that's a good feature to have also. So yeah, and then you go down to network. Some network settings. Here's the theme where you can select your different themes. So like here you have Burst, the Crossmix OS, Epic Noir, Fallout, a theme, a gray, Pokédex, Pokemon theme. But yeah, I'm just keeping this one in the default. Got some tools and utilities as well. We're going to scroll over to NetPlay. So this is how NetPlay, how you would play with another person who has another TRIMUI. Now in the settings, here you can change some display settings. So right now the brightness is at 6 out of 10. You can change like contrast and saturation. Volume, you can turn down the background music volume, and this actually has haptic feedback rumble. So I set mine down to 1 out of 5 because I don't want to use up too much battery. But you have the option to do that, and then you can connect to your Wi-Fi to be able to get those over-the-air updates and whatnot. And it shows that you have a hotspot too. I don't understand why you would want to hotspot your TRIMUI really, but oh, and also this has Bluetooth, so it does connect to a headset which I was using, and there is a little bit of lag, but yeah, you have the option to use wireless headphones. Once again, themes. This is how you would easily select your theme by going in this direction, but it does not show you a preview of the theme as the other way it did. Key map, you can map your keys differently if you'd like, and then more system options. Power off, you can power off from this menu right here. Refresh your ROMs, adjust your date and time or factory reset, calibrate joysticks, device information, and whatnot. So if you scroll back with the L1 button to the emulators and go back, now it shows best, right? So we're gonna go ahead and D-pad down, go over to the Super Mario collection. Now if you go ahead and select that, now you can see that we're going to select Nintendo. All the different Mario Brothers, including some bootlegs that might be some like hack games and whatnot. But yeah, so all the Mario games are curated here by consoles or Game Boy Color. Right there. Even Atari, you got the original Donkey Kong, which does have the Mario character in it. Go down to Nintendo 64. There's Mario Kart, Mario Golf, Mario Party, Super Nintendo, the Mario games. Go back out. Then we have a Sonic Classic Collection. Has all the Sonic games from all the different consoles curated. And then even the new latest Cowabunga collection of the Ninja Turtles games. And then there's your Zelda collection for all 5 of those consoles. And then best vertical shoot 'em ups. So once again, it is running the Surwish crossmix OS. It has a 4.96 inch IPS screen. The resolution of the screen is 1280 pixels by 720 pixels. The processor running the TRIMUI is the Allwinner A133 Plus 1.8 GHz with a Imagination PowerVR GE8300 660 MHz GPU. It's got a 1 GB RAM with 8 GB eMMC storage. It is Wi-Fi capable. The battery size is 5,000 milliamp hours, up to 5 hours of gameplay total, with an expandable storage supporting 64, 128, and 256 GB SD cards. Alright, so now let's go ahead and showcase how the actual gameplay runs on the TRIMUI. We're going to start off with a game like Super Mario Bros. 3 on the original Nintendo. So after showcasing the different consoles, running the PlayStation 1 or PSX, Sega Dreamcast, and Nintendo 64, the TRIMUI didn't have any problems with any graphics lagging or audio quality issues, no dropped frame rates. It ran everything smooth. So here I just wanted to show the size and scale comparison of the TRIMUI Smart Pro compared with the Odroid Go emulator that came out several years ago. And then here is my Samsung Galaxy Fold 4 phone. So you'll see that it's just slightly bigger than my phone. So that means you can put this thing right in your pocket with how narrow it is and how large it is. And just look at the size of it in my hand. Shows how portable this thing is. As far as build quality goes, the plastic used doesn't feel cheap at all. It's nice and solid. The whole console has a nice feel and weight to it. And there's nothing loose or shaky inside, nothing flexing as far as the whole entire item. But in the buttons, they have a nice tactile feel to it. It doesn't feel clicky-clacky or made of cheap plastic. They're nice little buttons, kind of reminiscent of the Nintendo Switch, obviously. And as far as the joysticks goes, they are a little bit small, so people with larger hands or thumbs might have a little bit more of a challenge trying to maneuver that. On their website, they do have an ergonomic accessory that it looks like the handles can go on the side of the console, so to be able to have a more ergonomic grip to it. But overall, the build quality, yeah, is really good. Nothing feels cheap, and the joysticks and the D-pad move and feel really good, including the bumper, right and left bumper triggers and buttons. So as you can see, this is why I'm raving about the TRIMUI Smart Pro as the best retro handheld emulator that we have out on the market right now. For a starting price of $100, it comes with the SD card full of all the consoles and all of the popular games that you've known and loved since the 80s and 90s. The RGB LED around the joysticks is an awesome, great feature. The portability factor, and how easy it is to load more games if you want. Once again, there are other videos on that on YouTube you can search. But once again, this is from mechdiy.com, and if you're interested in reading more on this, go to the website down in the video description below. And if you are interested in purchasing, I highly suggest using my discount code, which is on the screen right now, and it is in the video description as well. If you guys enjoyed watching my review on the TRIMUI Smart Pro Retro Handheld Emulator, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit that like button, leave all your comments and thoughts down below. And once again, if you haven't already, please subscribe and ring that notifications bell. Thanks for watching, guys.